Hi. So, the novel that I wrote about how much I hate my job is the novel I wrote at work while I should have been working. It was my first job out of college. Very boring job editing technical documents. I had to wear a tie, which I hated because I went to Catholic school. But my boss wore a suit and tie every day, and he made us all dress up like that, even though we never saw clients, because that's what he wanted. He was the villain to my superhero. I was late for work every day. He got to work so early, he had to wait in his car for the building supervisor to let him in. I called in sick every time I had a coughing fit. He would come to work with the full-on flu and infect everyone rather than miss a day. And he wouldn't let us listen to music. No headphones, no speakers. Just working in complete silence like a fucking serial killer. Who does that? I hate silence. I have a white noise machine in my bathroom. So this job was a nightmare for me. And I was like, I am not gonna stay here long. And gang, 11 short years later, I got the hell out of there. But in the meantime, I figured I'll write my way out. I wanna be a novelist. I'm gonna write a novel that is like a funny, sort of a murder mystery set at my job. I'm gonna write it right here. The detective will be me. I based the victim on my buddy who sat next to me, who was always pranking me. Like one time, I went to the bathroom and I forgot to lock my computer. He sat at my desk and emailed the girl who sat next to me, who was also one of my best friends, emailed her, "Do you wanna have sex with me?" And sent it. And I came back to my desk and found her answer, which was, "No, thank you." And I had to look in my sent folder to find out what she was no thank youing, and I was like, oh, okay, good. So he was the victim, I was the detective, and my boss, spoiler alert, was the killer. And the story ended with my boss shooting me in the face. Like I said, it's a comedy. And I started shopping it around to agents, and the woman who later became my agent on my second book read this one and got to the end and was like, dude, what were you thinking? It's a comedy. You get shot in the face at the end. And I was like, yeah, but this is how I feel about my life and my job. And she was like, look, if you change the ending, I will shop this around to publishers. I think we can make a good amount of money on it. And I was like, no, I really believe in this ending. And then she said, well, I think you should self-publish then. So I did that. And I was like, well, now I got to quit my job because somebody here is going to read this book and I'm going to get in trouble. So I quit my job, got a new job. Now I didn't have to wear a tie. I could listen to music. And I was doing something a little interesting that wasn't technical. So that was good, but after a couple years, like most jobs in this country, I ended up doing the work of 3 people, barely getting paid the amount of money that one person should get paid. And then a couple years after that, I ended up being basically a manager, but without the title or the money. And I was like, this sucks. And let me tell you guys, 8 short years later, I quit that job. I'm getting better at this timing stuff. Every year, I would go to my review and say, hey, I should be made a manager and I should get a raise. And they'd be like, yeah, next year. And they did that every year to everybody until people just started quitting. They started quitting en masse. And my boss quit and the only other person on my team quit. So it was just me. And I was like, all right, I'm going back one more time, making it an ultimatum. I said to my manager, hey, if you guys don't make me a manager and give me a raise, I quit and then there'll be no team. And they gave me a one-word response, which was no. So I gave my notice, and the next day in my department meeting, now remember, my boss quit, so there's no boss in this meeting. I said to the team, and I quote, so I just wanted you guys to know I gave my notice yesterday because I asked management to give me a raise and a promotion, and they told me to go fuck myself. And I said, they didn't say that exactly, but they might as well have. And after that meeting, my bestie at this job, who sat right next to me, like the guy who emailed the girl at work, he was vying for my boss's old job, so he thought he could get some brownie points by telling my director what I said. So I got fired from a job I already quit, which is not easy to do. The good news is that he, the guy who told on me, did not get my boss's old job. It went to somebody who deserved it. And the better news is that I got another job, and this job, I got such a humongous pay jump that I was able to buy a house. It's fully remote, so fully remote, and nobody uses their cameras and WebEx. So not only did I not have to wear a shirt and tie, I don't even have to wear a shirt. I do, but I don't have to. I can wear the bottom half of a horse costume if I want, nobody knows. And I can listen to music, I can watch TV, I can nap with my dog in between jobs. So I may not have made it as a novelist yet, but I have found the holy grail of jobs, and I got there by writing a book about how I hated my first job. You can do it too. Thanks. Goodbye.